All right, we are live in the group. Hello, social networking professionals.
Hey everyone, how you doing today? I'm just pulling this up on my phone so I can see comments.
Yeah, same here. So it is Thursday. Oh my goodness. Time is just going so fast.
We say that every week. I don't know where
We
the
do.
weeks go. It's crazy.
We do. You're right. We do say that a lot, but I swear that all of a sudden I'm like, it's Thursday. But we're having so much fun doing things that, that's just what happens. So, hey guys, if you're joining us live, go ahead and drop in where you're joining us from. And if you are catching the replay, go ahead and give us a hashtag replay.
I want to say hello to Brenda. Brenda, thank you for joining us. Nice to have you with us today. Drop in the comments, guys, if you are watching us. We'll give you a shout out. So, Trish, yeah. I am so excited for today's presentation.
Yes.
And, for those of you who read our emails, I sent out an email this morning about today's presentation. And the reason why this presentation is so kind of near and dear to my heart is back when I was really young, I was like 18, I had this little printing business and I had no sales. So I decided it would be a really good idea to go out door to door to try and sell some printing, like business cards and small stuff. And the very first business I walked into literally like kicked me in the butt out the door.
What?
Yeah. And from then on, I was always afraid of sales and I realized that if I was ever going to be any good in the network marketing industry, I had to become skilled at that. So that's what we're teaching you today.
Yeah, and what I also love about what we're teaching you guys is it's going to make it feel natural, and it's going to make it feel like you're not really selling, right? But at the end of the day, we are in sales, so we have to learn how to talk to people. But when you can do it the right way, you never are going to feel like you're selling. You're never going to feel pushy. You're never going to feel awkward. How many of you have ever felt those things before? If you have, drop us a 1. All right, drop us a 1. Well, I see lots of people coming on now. We have got, we've got someone from Madrid.
Yes.
Is that Madrid, Spain? Oh my gosh, we've got Arizona. Hey, Chelsea and Queen Creek. We got Molly. Hey, Suzanne, Gayla. Let's see here. Pauline, Brenda. Who else we got? I see we've got Diamond, Donna, Brenda. Nice to see you guys. And yeah, right. That sometimes we can feel so awkward when talking to people. And I got to tell you, when I learned this skill, this business became so much easier. And I know, Ruth, even when we were coaches and doing some of the things, I remember people were like, how do you just have a conversation so easily? But this thing that we're going to teach you guys today is how we did it.
And this will be game changer for your business, guys. If you're hesitant to ask for the sale, if you feel awkward in your conversations, this presentation is absolutely going to change the game for you. So I'm going to be the screen sharer today, Trish.
All right. I love it. And guys, do you see our new shirts, right? These are our new team branded shirts that we've got. We're so excited for them. And we've got a little challenge going on with our team right now so they can earn them. And I've got quite a list of people who've already earned them. I'm excited.
Yeah. So fun. So fun. Okay, guys. So mastering the conversation, how to avoid awkward conversations when talking with your prospects for the first time.
So our mission, guys, is to help motivated leaders launch a profitable business in 90 days or less. Because if you can help people make money in their first 90 days, they're not going to go anywhere, right? They're going to stay with you. They're going to stay excited about the business.
So hit some of those heart emojis, guys, if you're excited about this. So in case we haven't met, so we've got so many new people coming into this group every week. I'm Ruth, that's Trisha. And we've been in network marketing a combined 20 plus years. I actually think it's closer to 30 now.
Yeah.
We build entirely online using attraction marketing. We feel mentally and physically on fire. We're both girl moms. And you know what, Trish? I'm going to be a grandma soon.
I know. You know what's so funny? I keep hearing little nicknames because I know you were like, I'm sure if I want to be called grandma. So I'm hearing like Gigi and Gma. Like, what are some of your guys' favorite names for grandma? Well, congratulations.
I'm going to go with Gigi.
Gigi. I love it.
So guys, in the past 3 years, we have coached more than 3,000 struggling network marketers. And the reason why that is important is we've been out in the field. We know what the struggles are. We know what the common problems are, and we're here to help you get over them. We are both six-figure earners in the network marketing industry. Trish just recently, this is her second time around in a company being a six-figure income earner, just won our prestigious six-figure ring. Are you wearing it, Trish? Do you want to flash it?
I don't take it off.
That is awesome. And we are passionate about helping people achieve their dreams.
Wait, where are we going? Okay. So guys, here's what we're going to cover today. And we are just so excited because let me just ask you guys, how many of you would like to see a completely different business in 12 months, right? And I ask that because I think back to where we were 12 months ago, and it's like we more than 10 times our business from where we were 12 months ago. So how many of you would like to do that as well? How many of you would like to 10 times it? Because what we're going to teach you today is one of the key skills that we used in order to do that. So what we're going to cover is how to increase your list and close more people, right? At the end of the day, if you are not closing people, you are not having success. So secret number one, what to say when meeting or speaking to a prospect for the first time, right? Secret number two, how this 4-step method will have your prospects wanting to know exactly what you do and how they can join you. And secret number three, how do I get them into my business, right? The big question.
And Betty writes here, hope it's being recorded because I'm at work. Yes, it will be recorded. It'll be housed in this group, Betty, so you can come back in later in the day and watch it. And I'm getting lots of yeses to 10x. Okay, so why this is different. So most people in network marketing have a common belief that they should message or spam information to all of their prospects. So give us some hearts, guys, if you've ever done that. You've gone through your friends list and just kind of copy pasted messages and sent them to them. We've all done it, right? We also know it doesn't work. Most network marketers are not taught to ask versus tell and find out if the prospect is actually interested in what you're offering, whether it be a business opportunity or a product. Most network marketers go for the sale before they build enough rapport, enough know, like, and trust before asking, right? And that's why the rejection rate can be so high. And most companies and uplines don't teach how to pre-qualify prospects before giving the prospects all the information. So pre-qualifying people for your time is a key skill in this industry, because you don't want to spend hours with people who just aren't interested.
So guys, if any of that makes sense to you, drop us a 2 below, okay? So this training today is for you if you want a simple, I'm going to repeat that, simple way to build rapport and bring in more quality team members or customers. Because one of the things I hear from people all the time is, well, what do I say? Right? Now we give our teams scripts and things like that to use, but obviously you got to make them your own. You want them to feel natural. But when you can learn this skill that we're going to teach you today, it's going to be so easy and so natural. This is for you if you love the idea of network marketing. Like, how many of you love network marketing? If that's you, drop us some hearts. I know that's me. But you hate the idea of only sending copy paste messages. Like, I get them every day still. It's amazing to me. I don't understand. People clearly don't do the research of who they're talking to. And this is for you if you're ready to start a health and wellness biz with us. But you want to make sure there are systems and success training in place before making a decision.
So guys, it's so funny. This morning I got a copy paste message from someone, and really, I laugh, but I feel really bad when I get them as well, because that person is trying, but they don't know any better. But the funny part is they sent me this copy paste message about a foreign exchange business. And I looked at the person's profile and it was like this sexy girl in a bikini. I'm like, I don't think that's actually you.
That's funny.
So guys, this is for you this is not for you if you're not opening to learning a new approach to doing things. If you like to take the easy road and just keep doing the same thing over and over again. Sometimes it's a little scary learning and trying out a new skill because you don't quite know if it's going to work for you, right? So sometimes we take the easy road, but we just don't get anywhere with it. If looking good, feeling good, and living your best life isn't your thing, right? And if some fun isn't for you, then this probably isn't the right place for you right now. Because we like to have fun.
Yes, we do. So much fun. So guys, why is this important to you right now? And this is really important when you think about it, because right now, this is how the top 1% of leaders in network marketing view their businesses, right? You've got to have some ways that are relevant for today and that work for today. But the people who are really getting the results, this is what they're doing. If you're tired of wasting time talking to deadbeat prospects, right? Oh my gosh, that was me before learning how to do this better. And the rejection is getting you frustrated and you're ready to learn attraction marketing or just social media marketing in general, right? It's important right now because if you're not standing out in the crowd on social media, you're like, there's so much noise. There's so many people doing it. You've got to know a way to stand out and really be different than everybody else who's out there. And if you have anxiety about asking for the sale, right? How many of you have got that anxiety? If that is you, drop us a 4. And you're not really sure how to ask for it effectively, because that is going to be the key. You have to be able to ask for the sale. But I'll be honest, when you practice what we teach you, sometimes they're asking you, right? So, but either way, we're going to teach you how to do it effectively.
So our goal for you by the end of this is to equip you with the knowledge and skills so that you need so you can finally build the business of your dreams. After all, that's why we're all here, right? We're all looking for something different in our lives, something bigger in our lives. And we want to see you win, right? Many of you are in network marketing and maybe you've jumped around companies and never really had success. We want to see you win for the first time because there is nothing like that, like winning.
You know, Ruth, I just want to add to something you said there. I'm thinking back to a few conversations we've had this week with some people, and just that last part about winning. And you mentioned, about jumping around. Here's the thing. Nobody necessarily wants to jump around. However, sometimes it's necessary to make a change to get what it is you're actually looking for. Now, I'm not saying that, you don't ever give a company a chance. But if you don't have the leadership, you don't have the mentorship, you don't have a training system, it's going to be really, really, really difficult, if not impossible, to be able to build a business where you're at. So just think of that as you're hearing all this stuff today. So here's our behind the scenes journey, right? So we built old school, experiencing the massive amounts of rejection, right? Because we believed everyone was a prospect. And I got to tell you, that was for me. That was definitely me. Like my upline, I remember her telling me, go for the no. I challenge you to get 10 no's in a row so I could feel better about being rejected, right? But that's what we did. And we felt the anxiety of asking for the sale because the expectation really was starting to be a no. So when somebody said yes, we were like surprised, right? Now I expect people to say yes. If they say no, I want to shake them and say, what's wrong with you? I'm just kidding. But sometimes I do think to myself, seriously, what, like how, like, but the thing is I expect a yes now. I don't expect a no. But we felt awkward asking for the sale because we didn't have the right words or the process in place to be effective. And not only that, but when somebody did have an objection, I didn't know how to come back, or I didn't know what to say back to them to really get to, the real thing. Because if someone tells you it's time or money, here's the thing. It's never time or money. It really isn't. People just use that as a front. It's never time or money. And we needed to make a massive change in how we were building on social media, and knowing how to use it is crucial today. Like, again, if you really want success in your business, you have to learn how to do this. We've got top leaders in our company asking for our help. How are you guys doing this? Because we're the fastest growing organization in our company. And we invested in our education and mentorship and learned the new skills. And this is why we stress to our team, like, they probably get so sick of hearing, but training and education and mentorship are truly one of the main keys to success in this business, because you need to learn the skills. You have to learn the skills if you want to get the results you're looking for.
And it's so funny, Trish, you know, we often talk on our team trainings. We do team huddles every single day. And we always say the best trained team wins, right? Yeah. So that mentorship, that coaching, those skills are really required if you're going to build a 6-figure business or even a 5-figure business, right? Anything like that requires skills. So through our journey, we had some breakthroughs, right? We created 6 and multiple 6-figure businesses in under 2 years using attraction marketing, social media marketing, and really staying on top of what is working now on social media versus what is being taught by gurus that may be outdated, right? We're on the ground, we're running, we know what works, we're staying on top of it. Collectively, we coached more than 3,000 people. So we know what the struggles are and we know how to overcome them. We consistently show up on our leaderboards, whether it's us personally, our team members, or our team in general, right? Being the fastest growing team in our organization. We've done this consistently through a simple ATM method, right? Add tag message, and it requires 0 technology and 0 ad budget. We became masters at closing, but more importantly, we were able to teach other people how to close so that they could have success as well.
So guys, real quickly, if this sounds like what you want, drop us some hearts, right? Give us lots of love. So let me just ask you, how would it feel to be confident about what to do next in your business, right? Most people just don't know what to do next, and that's scary and it paralyzes them. But how would it feel to be confident about what to do next in your business? How would it feel to build a team of motivated, connected, and excited people? I've got to tell you, that is probably one of the most exciting things for us since really changing how we do this, because now we get to truly work with people who want what we want, and not necessarily exactly, maybe we all have different goals, but the bottom line is they want success in their business. And I feel like now we get to stand on that start line and just lock arms with people and run. And when everybody is working towards the same goal and everybody is motivated and connected, you can run so much faster as a team, allowing everybody to get those results that they want to get. How would it feel to have a system that duplicates so that your team is experiencing massive success? Because prior to attraction marketing and building on social media, we didn't have this. You know, we did everything ourselves. And now we have a system that duplicates. People know what to do when they come in. They know how to get started, and they can plug and play right into everything. And how would it feel to know exactly how to take people through a 4-stage process that made asking for the sale easy and successful, getting way more yeses than nos in your business? Because I remember, you know, when I got started in this industry, I was told, you know, you'll get to a point where you recruit 1 out of every 10 people you talk to. Well, that's 1 yes and 9 no's. Now flip it, and I was told, well, you know, think about it. In the end, you end up with a really good batting average, which is true. But what we experience now is 7 to 9 yeses out of every 10 people versus 1 out of 10. Now I'm just asking, which ratio would you rather have, right? I mean, I think it's clear. It sounds like a silly question, but if you could have 7 to 9 out of 10 saying yes to you, wouldn't that feel amazing, right? Drop us some love if you agree with that.
Well, I certainly know it feels amazing, Trish, because it keeps people uplifted, right? That used to drive me crazy, the whole thing, go out and get 10 no's. Well, I don't want to get 10 no's.
No.
That's a waste of my time talking to the wrong people.
Yeah.
So totally different, guys. Okay, so let's talk about 3 secrets, all right? Secret number 1, what to say when meeting or speaking to a prospect for the very first time. Now, that can be out and about in person, or it can be on social media as well.
So we're going to, the first thing you need to be doing with people is building that know, like, and trust. Because remember, people will do business with someone who they know, like, or trust. And most of the times, and I say most because I hate talking in absolutes because there's always that one random exception. But most of the time in this industry, people join people, they don't join companies, right? They're going to join a person who they know, like, or trust. If you think back to how you got started in this industry, likely it's because someone you know, like a friend or a family member, introduced you to it. It's very unlikely that you sat down and said, I want to be a network marketer, and you went out and just started, doing your research on what company to join. Now, again, you might be that rare exception, but most people, that's not how they do this. The struggle is finding common interests to talk about with someone that you have just met. And because you have very little knowledge about them. So you need a way to be able to start this conversation and have it flow back and forth. Think about when you sit with a friend, you probably could just chat all day long. It's like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Well, you want to be able to sit there and be natural with a prospect as well. And when you can learn the right way to do it, then that conversation is going to be super easy. So you might be asking yourself, where do you start, right? And we're going to share that here on the next slide. But what we're also going to share is what will happen, if you have nothing in common. And if you have nothing in common, obviously it's going to be weird and awkward. Like, you're going to go, how's the weather today, right? But that's if you really know where to start and know the right questions to ask and how to take one question and one answer and lead it into the next, you're never going to have that problem. You're always going to be able to have a conversation that just flows.
So secret number 2, how this 4-step method will have prospects wanting to know exactly what you do and how they can join you.
So the reality is, guys, that most network marketers are not taught how to initiate a conversation with people. I mean, copy-paste messages is a clear indication that people aren't taught how to talk with people, right? And the thing is if they do, they tend to vomit their company information, products, services all over the other person. How many of you guys are guilty of vomiting on your prospect? I know I was.
I was too.
I was. And the thing is you've got to find out more information about your prospect. When you can learn more information about your prospect, then it's going to make that conversation so much easier. And the combination of the 2 above sets most network marketers up for failure, right? Like, there are 19 million network marketers in the United States. 97% of them don't make money. That is a crappy statistic, right? It just is. And we want to change that for you. We want to grow that number. That means 3% of people are having success. Well, we want to grow that number. But first, what we want to do is get you into that 3%.
Absolutely. And Trish, I think back to the conversations that I used to have with prospects and on it was 3-way calls at the time. It's now 3-way Zooms versus now. Back then, I would say I was doing the talking about 80 to 90% of the time. And now my prospect is doing the talking 80 to 90% of the time. And that ask versus tell, as you guys will see, will be a game changer for your conversations. So here's what you can do differently, guys. We're going to teach you this 4-step method where you're going to learn how to have a normal face-to-face conversation with your leads and prospects that feels genuine, okay? Every single time. It's like a non-selling process, but it sells. The method's called FORM, so family, occupation, recreation, and motivation. Using these prompts will allow you to get to know people better and faster, and it will create a true connection so that when you lead into the sales conversation, it flows with ease.
So step one, and yes, Rosemary, you are so right. We have 2 ears and one mouth. Listen more than we speak. And that's really when it comes down to ask versus tell. Because if you're telling, you're doing all the talking. But if you're asking the questions, they're doing the talking and you're listening. And that is going to make a big, big difference. So you're going to start by talking about their family or friends. So for example, one of the first things I talk to people is, so tell me a little bit about yourself. Are you married? Do you have kids? Right? Allow them to start sharing information, because remember, at the end of the day, you're trying to find out what it is they're looking for, what their pain points are. Really, you're looking for that third or that fourth step, which is their motivation. And if you can do the first three really well, you don't even have to ask their motivation. They're going to give it to you automatically, right? You're going to know what it is. So you always want to be looking for subtle clues as well. Is the person wearing a wedding ring? Does their phone screensaver have a picture of their kids? What kind of watch are they wearing? I know that sounds silly, but I can tell you, if I see somebody out with a Garmin watch, I know they're probably a runner or some sort of athlete, right? Little things can clue you in, because in the end, what you're trying to do is you're trying to find commonalities between you. So asking these questions and allowing them to share a little bit about themselves is going to really start this whole thing moving in the direction you need it to.
The other thing I want to mention, Trish, before we go too much further from this step is, guys, you've got to listen, right? You can't be so wrapped up in your head about, oh my gosh, what am I going to say next, that you don't pick up on these clues. So you have to be present in the conversation and listen. And you know how that happens really easily? You practice. You practice and practice on prospects, on team members, on your family. Whoever you can practice with will help you get better at this. So step 2, you're talking to them about their career, okay? Not their job, but their career. For example, what do you like most about your career, right? If you could change something, what would it be? Those are great questions. You're listening for pain points, right? Are you happy where you are financially in your career? Are you doing okay? Would you like your salary to go up or down, right? So questions like that are really digging into where the person is in their career, in their situation in their life, because you're looking for pain points. You're looking for places where our business or opportunity can fill that gap. So a great question I like to ask, and it's not so kind of in your face, is if there was one thing about your career you would change, what would that be? And then listen.
And I love that, Ruth, because instead of you saying, what do you dislike about it? Because here's the thing, in the end, they're going to take a little pride over their career or job, whatever it is. They might talk badly about it, but if you agree, they might get defensive about it very quickly, right? So when you can ask that question, like Ruth just said there, tell me one thing you would change, they're again going to give you that pain point without you calling it pain.
Absolutely.
So step 3, obviously, is going in more to the recreation. Now, along the way, as you're doing this, one of the things that you want to be doing is you want to do something called matching and mirroring. So as you're looking for these commonalities, and they tell you, so for instance, when someone says, oh, I've got, 2 kids, you can, come back with, oh, do you have boys or girls? And then you're going to come back with, something that's in line with you. Now, if you don't have kids, you're not going to focus on the kids. You're going to focus on something else. But because I have kids, Ruth has kids, that's a really good question for us to ask, because we can come back with, oh, me too, right? And when you can me too people, then you've got more in common. When you've got more in common, again, it builds that know, like, and trust a little bit better. So the third thing you're going to want to be doing is you want to identify what they like to do outside of work for fun, to unwind, right? Like, what is their fun? So it's a simple question, what do you like to do outside of work for fun? What are your hobbies? What are your sports? Like, are you a football fan? You a basketball fan? Do you go to sports games? Again, you want to be looking for clues. If they're wearing a sports watch, are they wearing running shoes, right? Many of these things are going to clue you in. Maybe, it could be they like golf. Whatever it is, you're looking for something that you can match up with them, right? And, it's funny. As we talk to more and more people, it doesn't matter who it is. I can find something to match up with them, and it could be far-fetched. If someone's like, tells me, oh, they live in Canada. Oh, really? Where in Canada? Guess what? I know a lot of people in Canada. So it's just something to kind of relate to, but it starts more conversation. And again, it allows them to kind of breathe and relax and talk with you more like a friend than as somebody they feel like, is interrogating them, or like it's an interview, or, because a lot of times, they know that you want to offer something to them, but they feel a little nervous about it. But this allows them to get their guard down so that you can actually have a real conversation. They can actually listen and hear what you're sharing as well.
And also, think about that whole ask versus tell, right? I can almost guarantee you that at least 80% of the people you're going to be talking to aren't listened to anywhere. So
No.
maybe at home, their kids don't listen to them, or their husband doesn't listen to them, or maybe they have a job where they feel like they're not heard, right? Hit some of those love hearts, guys. If you have a job that you feel like you aren't heard, I used to, right? And by you listening to them, they're like, wow, this person is really interested in me. They must have some care about where I am in my life and where I want to go. So by being a really good listener and attentive to that and asking relevant questions, you can create rapport really, really quickly.
And Ruth, I just wanted to add to what you just said there, because I know for you and I, like, there are a lot of people who will break down when talking with us, and we're not being mean. I promise you that. But what Ruth just said, most people don't take the time to ask somebody a question or to show that care and concern. And when you do, and I can't tell you how many times I've heard the thing, oh my God, I can't even believe I'm telling you all this. But they're just dying for somebody to hear them.
Yeah.
They're dying to have somebody to actually care and talk to them. And when you can do that, that is going to build a very strong bond. It's going to build some trust very, very quickly.
Absolutely. So step 4, guys, this isn't really a question to ask, but a determination on your part on the questions you have asked them. Okay. So by asking the above question, you should know what their motivation is, their why for wanting to do network marketing. So asking questions like, what were your childhood dreams, right? What are your dreams now? In a perfect world, if you had the perfect business, how is it changing your life? What does life look like? If I had a magic wand and could make your business perfect, exactly the way you want it, what does life look like? What drives them to live the lifestyle that they currently have? That's usually where the pain points come out, right? Maybe they're financially strapped. Maybe they're in debt. Maybe they're a single mom working 5 jobs. Like, you don't know until you ask. Do they have aspirations? Like, what aspirations do you have? What do you see for your future? What's your biggest dream? Would they like to go back to university to study? Maybe someone wants to go back to school and do something totally different. Are they aiming to get a promotion by the end of the year at work? Asking people questions are going to really unveil what their dreams and aspirations are.
So now you're probably asking yourself, how do I get them into my business, right? That is, because obviously at the end of the day, that is our goal, getting them signed up and into our business so we can help them and work with them.
So now what? Once you've formed them, right? That's what we were talking about. Those 4 steps are forming them. You can determine if they're a fit for your business. Let me say that again. You can determine if they're a fit, right? Not everyone will be a fit. And assuming you're at a presentation with this person, or maybe you're watching a presentation together on Zoom, and maybe they're interested, the big question is, how do I get them into my team? So we're going to walk through now a 4-step closing process that's going to be pretty easy to do now that you've formed them.
So one of the big questions, after forming them that you can ask is, obviously we're here to talk about a business, right? And obviously, when you ask some of these questions, you're wanting to get those minor agreements from them. You're wanting them to be shaking their head and agreeing with you, right? So, this is a really simple, easy question that you can ask. So let me ask you a question. If what we have can get you that, now that is the things that they shared with you. If they've said, I'm looking to make some extra income, if I need some extra income that, I can take my kids on a trip. I need something that I can do in my spare time, right? So if what we have can get you that, are you willing to take the time out of an already busy schedule to make it happen, right? Now, why is this line so important? Because again, time is one of the biggest things, one of the biggest objections you're going to get from people. So if you could already tell them you understand that they're busy, but you can show them a way and allow it to fit into an already busy schedule, you've already eliminated the time objection.
Absolutely. And now if they come back to you and they're kind of not making a decision and they're giving maybe some objections, then we're going to share with you a 4-step process that you can actually go back to. You kind of did it with form, but this 4-step process is very, very intentional, that if you didn't get the right answer from that question, you take them through this process. And I can almost guarantee if you do it effectively, by the end, they're nodding their head yes.
For sure. Because the way, that we do it at first is, you're really trying to find those fears, right? You're trying to find those pain points, which you probably have already done. But when they kind of go back, then you can ask them the question, well, if you don't change anything, how are you going to be in a different place next year? If you're struggling to make money now and you're not willing to make a change, how is life going to look for you 12 months from now? Do you see it being different? And then are you okay with it not being different, right? You can start asking questions that are going to really make them think about what it is that they're saying or wanting. So really pointing that fear back out to them.
The next step you want to do is, now that they recognize sort of like a stuck state or a fear or a pain in their life, you want to take them back to what they said their aspirations and dreams were. Like, remind them what their aspirations and dreams were. Ask questions like, just like I said, if I had that magic wand, where would you be 2 years from now? What does life look like? What is a potential business doing for your life? And really, don't rush the process, guys. You've got to let people get into their dream state and really start feeling what life might be like, in the future for them if they did make a change, right? So we talked about today the fear, the pain. Now we've got to bring them to, okay, well, yeah, life can be different.
Mm-hmm. And really just, again, asking the questions, well, you shared with me before that, one of the things you really want is to take your kids on a trip to Disney, right? How's it going to feel for you to provide that for your family? How is being able to do that going to change things for you and your family? What's it going to be like? Where else do you want to travel? What else do you want to do? But again, getting them to really see those things. And whenever they kind of get there, but then go back to, but I can't, or I'm not willing, then you can really start bringing that fear back in again. And you kind of sometimes have to go back and forth a little bit to get there. But one of the biggest things is, once they've really identified what this dream is, it's really then and saying, okay, well, what is it going to take to get you there, right? Fill that gap. Like, where are you today? Like, I want to make $5,000 a month. I'm only making $500 a month. Okay, well, what do we need to do? What needs to change so that you can be doing this? Helping them identify that gap. I'll be honest, I am so shocked sometimes when we talk to people and I'll ask them, how much are you currently making on a monthly basis? And one, they won't know. Or two, how much do you need to make? And they don't know, because that's part of the issue. Like, it needs to be defined. And when you can help show them how to fill that gap, they're going to really all of a sudden have this aha moment.
That's awesome, Trish. And one of the things that you can also do when you're talking about, that gap, like where are they at today versus where they want to be, and they recognize there's a gap, you might say, then what is missing? What's missing that's stopping you from achieving that? Because really through this whole process, you want people to come to their own realization about what's missing. You don't want to be telling them, because you'll come up with resistance. You want them to realize all of this themselves, and you're really just the guide.
And one of the questions I love to ask people when we get here is, if you continue to do what you're currently doing, in the end, you're really going to continue to get the same result. Would you agree? Like, in order for things to change, you need to change. Are you willing and ready to make a change? Are you ready for things to be different? Are you ready for a change in your life? Because sometimes people just need to stop and think about it. Like, they get so focused on doing, and being so frustrated, they don't even realize they have to make a change in order to get the result they're looking for. And it's at that point when they are like, wow, yeah, I do need to make a change, that then you can easily go, then, are you ready to go ahead and get started? And you just ask the question, are you ready to get started? Are you ready to start working on that change today?
So guys, if you're getting value from this, hit some of those love hearts. And I hope you guys are taking some notes, because we are dropping some gold here. Because this is a game changer in your business when you know how to ask these questions. Trish, I don't know about you, but I've heard you say this before. One of the questions I always ask is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it to you to have what you described to me, whether it's pay off debt, go on a trip, have a different lifestyle? And if it comes back an 8 or a 9, I will always ask, what would make it a 10? And people usually are like, I don't know. Is it not important to you? Is it not a 10 or an 11? And typically, and I'll tell people this, it's probably not a 10 because you're afraid you're going to fail. You have some self-doubts, either about the industry or yourself. And then you can have really good conversations with people about how maybe your training system is going to help guide them better so they have a better success rate. Maybe you've got special promotions in your company, or a special compensation plan or something that can really help them have a better chance at success. But typically when you ask that question, you can get into really deep conversations with people to help them break through and make a decision.
Yeah. And, I love that, Ruth, because I do ask that question a lot, like you said. And a lot of times if someone comes back, I'm a 7 or I'm an 8, or even if they're a 9, and I'll ask them, what will change it? Because what I'll typically go back with as well is, because what I have found in my experience, if someone's an 8 or 9, they're really a 10. And just like you said, it's that fear that keeps them from going. So are you willing and ready to go ahead and start making a change? Or do you want to continue to sit here and be stuck? Right. And it sounds like a no-brainer question, but you'd be surprised at the answers we get sometimes. But also, I think the biggest thing is when you're doing this is, just telling them, listen, we're going to be here. We're going to be here to guide you. Are you open to learning new things? Are you open to learning new ways? Because we'll be here to help guide you in those ways if you are. And most people are, right? It's just that fear of change. And that's where you can, ask those harder questions if needed again. But most people, it's just that fear, or maybe some smidge of information, but it's really just getting started. And so a lot of times I'll go back to, when you started your current career, did you know everything you needed to know to do the job? Right? When you started that career, were you nervous the first day you showed up? And most of them are going to go, well, yeah, I was nervous, right? But you get good over time. And that's the thing we say, it's normal to be nervous. It's normal because it's different. So it's a little uncomfortable. But wouldn't you agree, right? So getting them to agree, wouldn't you agree if you had someone here to teach you the skills and be by your side to answer questions that you could get comfortable real easy and feel good about it. And most of the time they're going to go, yeah, I could, so it's really getting them to state the obvious. But you're going to know what questions to ask based on how they answered.
So Sharon has a question here. How long do you go back and forth in conversation, especially with someone you don't know? Do you find strangers open up, or if you go too long, will they feel kind of used to just, I guess she means used to being pitched to? So Sharon, here's the thing. This process, this 4-step process of really diving into people's fears and dreams and helping them, I lost my screen there, and helping them, kind of realize what the gap is and then asking for the sale. That process works with strangers just as well as with people who know you. And if you can truly be a really good listener and listen with your heart, not just with your ears, and respond that way, you can have really, really deep conversations with complete strangers. And in fact, that's what Trisha and I spent, probably the last 3 years doing. Is most people we meet are complete strangers to us. Mm-hmm. And when you listen with your heart and you ask questions and you really show care and concern, there is no feeling salesy. By the end, people are saying, yeah, I'm ready to make a change. How do I get started?
100%. And the other thing, Sharon, too, I just want you to know that this, when Ruth and I do it, is done in less than 20 minutes most of the time. Like you know the answers. And when you're really listening to their responses, it really allows you to come back with those questions so much easier and faster, and really dig deeper faster, right? Because that's what it is. People will give you generic answers, but if you make them dig a little deeper, that's where you're really going to hit their pain points, right? And it's, just a normal conversation, but you just ask those questions that are a little bit deeper. At what point do you show the presentation of the company? That's going to depend. It's going to depend on the person, Suzanne.
I'd say typically at the end of the conversation, when they say something like, yeah, I'm ready to get started, or I'm ready to make a change in my life, that's like, don't miss that cue.
No.
Right? A lot of times when we're new, we get so wrapped up in what to say next that we miss those cues to take the person to the next step. That's the perfect time to say, fantastic. What I need you to do is to, like, we do live company presentations every day, but if you don't do them live, watch this recording or watch this live presentation. Let's set a time to come back together, because before you join us, I want to make sure that this company is right for you. Yeah, the leaders are right for you. Our team is right for you because we've had this deep conversation, but we need to make sure the company's right for you. So that's kind of the point you want to bring them over.
Yeah. And the only thing I was going to add, Suzanne, is if you happen to be, in person with them, if you were doing a one-on-one, you literally could do the presentation right then and there with them. You could go ahead and show it to them right then and there. So non-traditional at the end. Do you always pitch a business opportunity or times just part? Our business presentation has both incorporated into it. So we always do both, because it's not up to us to determine what direction somebody wants to go. We will talk a little bit about the history of our company. We're going to share a little information. We do a product demo. And at the end, we will ask them, where do you see yourself getting started, right? Do you see yourself getting started with a business or as a customer? So we don't make that decision for them.
Typically, though, what we find is most people who join us want to join our business. And that happens because of the way we do our marketing online. Yep. So people the right kind of people get attracted to us. They decide that, they're sick and tired of being stuck and they want to join us. And that's why we've recruited so many people. If you had a different marketing strategy, maybe it's more product based, then you would probably be bringing in more customers that way.
And I just want to address the language in the question here too that Sharon asked when she says, do you always pitch? I don't ever use that word. ever, because I don't ever feel I'm pitching anything. Most of the time, and again, because we're building online, people want to know what we have. We're not pitching any sort of opportunity or product. We're really just giving them the information they've asked for. Yeah. Does that make sense, guys? All right, let's see what we got here. All right. So guys, if you like what you're hearing, give us some hearts. If you see that this can help you in your business, give us some hearts, right? Because we know what a game changer it's been for us and our team. All right. Yes, good. Awesome, Sharon. That's awesome.
Okay, guys, so that's what we've got for this week. I hope you got some value from it. I hope you took lots of notes. As I said in the beginning, this process was game changer for our own businesses personally, and also for our team. If you find yourself stuck, frustrated, overwhelmed, don't know what to do next, maybe you're looking for a new opportunity, maybe you're curious about what we're doing, absolutely drop more info in the comments below, and we'd be happy to set up a 15-minute conversation with you to see if what we're doing is something that might be a fit for you. And we will obviously refer you back to the person who brought you to this group if it is the right fit to get started.
And guys, I just want to share too that, you know, what Ruth and I covered here in under an hour, it took us a while to really get into action and learn it, but it also was a lot of training that we went to and paid for. Like it's you've got to learn it, but you've got to be able to implement it too. And because that's where you're really going to get good. So, and that's, you know, one of the things we work on with our team. And that's also part of what really has created the duplication, because we work with our team on this all the time. They get to hear us in action doing this. And so they learn and they duplicate. So it makes a big, big difference than just trying to do it on your own all the time. So, absolutely. So guys, if you got value, drop us a value, and we will see you next week.
Have an awesome week, guys.
Bye.